Welcome to Merly's World. How are you? I hope you're all happy and in good health. Thank you so much for supporting us. Last week, oh, actually, 2 weeks ago, we had our show on container gardening. And thank you so much for your very inspiring feedback, your support. And it really warms my heart to know that you too are practicing container gardening and doing permaculture and doing that for permaculture lifestyle. So, for today, we have something special. I promised to you last week that we will be talking about circular fashion. In other words, it's the idea of um, prolonging the life of whatever you're using, your fashion, your clothes, your things, prolonging it by repurposing or redesigning it so that we can prolong the life, so that we can cut the carbon footprints of the manufacturing process. In that way, we can contribute to the healing of our planet. So, yeah, that's our title today. Do you know? Do you know that 81%, sorry, 81 pounds of clothing are thrown away per year by an individual? And that's here in America. 60% of the clothes are made of non-biodegradable synthetic materials that sits in the landfills, and 1,800 gallons of water are used when making one pair of jeans. Wow, that is amazingly powerful statistics, because before that I didn't know, and I would just wear jeans, or wear so many clothes without thinking where it came from and how it is affecting our environment. But knowing these statistics, it will help us to be self-conscious and to think of, where did my clothes come from? How much of the environmental resources I'm using and I'm misusing? So today, let us talk about um, how we can contribute to the healing of the planet and take care of our environment without being so insensitive of the things that we do. Um, last 2 months ago in March, we had a chance to speak to Yana Johnson. She is a I call her subs, environmental, sustainable fashion and interior redesigner. She has this unique and inspiring idea of um, cultivating our creativity, but cutting our carbon footprints, but still allowing ourselves to enjoy our lifestyle, the clothes that we buy, and the things that the accessories and everything that we use in our house, um, to make it sustainable. So I would like to share with you this inspiring idea from Yuna Johnson.
Your
Um,
aesthetic style is what we're going to go into about your uniquely is beautiful to you and that concept. So your aesthetic style is also YAS for short. So you'll hear me go back and forth between YAS, your aesthetic style. And it's all about, this concept is all about being inspired by you and styled by you. So to give a better example, think about maybe you've thought about this, or I don't know if you have, but why do you like what you like? Just take a moment. You're going to want a paper and pen. Make sure you have those close by because there's a couple different exercises we're going to do. But have you thought about this? Why do you like what you like? Maybe if there's some of you who've heard of or seen the show or done Marie Kondo, the Spark Joy, but going deeper, like why do some things spark joy for you? Sometimes we know maybe logically, like because it has certain memories attached to it, or I always have loved cats growing up, so things with cats spark joy. But there's also this visual aspect, right? Certain things to us feel really beautiful. You see it and you're like, ooh. And someone else is like, it's not as pretty to them. But some things attract you more than others. And that's what your aesthetic style is about. And that's what we're going to go in today, is like looking more deeply at why things attract you, visually particularly. So I want you to take a moment now and reflect a little bit about what's in your closet. Maybe you're close by, you could see it, but it doesn't matter. Just from memory, think about not what the items are, like how many sweaters or jeans you have, but think more about what kind of textures do you have? Do you have a lot of heavy or light clothes? Do you have what kind of colors? You have a range of different colors. Do you have a lot of pinks or pastels? Do you have darker colors or neutrals? So just take a moment and jot down some things, the patterns, any kind of thing, but more about what does it look like visually in your closet? What are the kind of items? What do they look like? Not what the items are. And I'll just give a few seconds to think about that. And it was teaching people how to find their aesthetic style with not buying anything new. That was an important part of the course, because in order to look more, understand why you like what you like, and looking at your stuff, you can't be bringing in new stuff, but just look at what have you brought into your home already. And as I was teaching this and looking for how to market this course and everything, I realized that I was teaching unknowingly a concept called interior redesign, which is where you, and you may have heard this also with home staging or different things, but it's using only the items in your home and reorganizing them, decluttering, rearranging, and styling to get a new look. Our lifestyle shift, and especially I got involved in the sustainability businesses, and how do we really shift the lifestyle around wanting to buy new things, and how can we create that new feeling without necessarily buying? And I also always would look at myself. That was one of my best ways to discover these things. I would think about, well, why do I buy what I buy, right? And again, the question from the beginning, why do you like what you like? That's important to think about when you're buying things as well. And I went into the shop. It was actually around this time of year, the new spring collection. And I was pulled off a bunch of things from the racks, and I went to try them on, and I was looking at them and thinking, they remind me of some things I have in my closet. Not the actual item, but the texture or the color or the pattern. It was similar, but I had pulled up some pants with that pattern, and I didn't have pants like that, right? But I started thinking I could create a similar look with what I have at home. And I remember I put everything back, even there was some like really good sales deal. And I just ran home, and I was like so excited to try this out at home. And it was a huge epiphany moment for me.
A huge epiphany moment. And that happened to me as well. I wonder if you have this experience. You know how we women, and for based on my own experience, I kind of plan what I want to wear when I want to go out, even the night before. But then, it would always take me hours to get ready. And once I have this clothes, I feel like, oh, I don't like this, and I want to change to another outfit. And then sometimes, and most of the time, I end up saying, oh my God, I gotta get some more clothes. I don't have enough clothes in my closet. and it's like I don't have what I want to wear on that day. I don't know if it's a disorder, but I always feel like I don't have enough clothes in my closet. And hearing from Yuna, then I realized that, wow, she helped me see what I already have, and looking at it and appreciating it in a new way, creatively, being creative. So I tried to apply it, and I went to my closet and just look at what I have. I will share to you some of the clothes that really made me understand that we actually don't need to keep buying more clothes. Just look at what you have and rearrange it, redesign it. Okay, hold on a second. So here are my clothes. So I realized that anything that has to do with nature, I always love florals and bursts of colors. So here, I bought this. Actually, it was a brand new, but it was in a thrift store, and this one, my friend Greg from Philippines, he um, he showed this to me, and I fell in love with this. And this one, I can wear this with other other clothes, any colors. And I like my style is I like layers and scarves. And so this one actually, let me just put it down. This was a long dress, but what I did is I actually redesigned it. Um, this is part of the hem, I mean the lower part, and I actually cut it and made it into a scarf because I didn't want to be walking around, like long gown, right? So I put it here, and this is a really nice. It can be worn for work, and with jeans or pants, slacks. But here, yeah, redesigning your stuff, your clothes, it makes you feel like, oh, actually, I don't need to keep buying more clothes. And here, yeah, layers and jackets and um, anything that has flowers in it, I love it. So yeah, that's me. And I want to thank Yuna for allowing this creative part of me at the same time, prolonging the life of your clothing so that we can cut down our carbon footprints. Okay, so let's continue to hear from Yuna.
As someone who loves to shop and who loves that new feeling, and I realized I could create that new feeling and be almost just as actually more excited than having purchased something to create something new with what I already had. And so that story, that moment is the story behind the Style and Save guide, which you can download at the end. But it also is like the basic fundamental mindset shift that we're going to talk about today for helping to see what you already have in a new way. And I think even in my experience with interior redesign, it was challenging for many people to be open to their stuff, their same old stuff, and thinking they could do something different with it. So that's a big mindset shift that we've got to dive into, and that's what we're going to focus on now. And I'll share again here what I discovered from this process and experience is that there's really kind of three key challenges around creativity and sustainability. Like 3 C's, I call it: comparison, consumption, and criticism. So comparing, we're surrounded by a lot of great ideas and social media, beautiful images, but sometimes we get inspired or we pin them on Pinterest or we save them, but we don't think that we can do that. Oh, they do that because, that they have a good eye for that, or we often compare with our own ability. And consumption, that was what I shared a lot about with my experience with interior redesign, that often we look for something to buy that's going to inspire us to bring changes, instead of first looking after what's the change that I want and then going out and buying. And the final is criticism, where it's easy to feel like distrusting our own intuition, our own voice, or sense of what we like and what we feel beautiful, because maybe we've been criticized for that before, or sometimes we're just our harshest critics, and we tend to give ourselves a hard time. What I want to emphasize today, and especially when you look at your own stuff, is that it's really important to start with inspiration, like looking at your things that you have now, also looking at things that maybe you found in magazines or other people's homes you visited, and what you like about it, what attracts you about that. Not often we kind of look at those things and try to replicate it exactly, but instead look at it and think about, okay, what are the certain elements or principles about this that I really like? And see it not just about the items, but the overall feeling of the look. And I'm going to show you some examples of how I did this with interior redesign to show you how this concept really works. But what helps here is that in order for us to be very creative, we've got to focus on what we love the most. There's a lot of things that are nice, but what are the things that you really love that make you go, wow? That's where you want to focus on in trying to make that the basis of what you want to make changes for. And the style and save guide, that's what that goes into, with how to do this with your outfits. But first I'm going to show it with interiors. So there's kind of 3 steps going on here. What we've been focusing on today is the discover part, writing the notes, asking these questions. This is exactly what I do when I do interior redesigns, is the consultation process. Why do you like what you like? What do you not like? And going deeper at looking at your stuff. And then the second part, which is really important to do, and this is something you'll do after with the guide, is act on it, is to create something, because it's one thing in concept, right? But when you apply it, that's when you start to see like, wow, there's a lot of things I can do with what I already own. But you've got to put it into practice. And then the final step is to share about it, to show what you've created with, you can share, post it on social media, share it with a friend, invite people over, anything like that. But that's a huge part of helping us feel really like, oh, I love this, right? If you really love it, you're happy to show it. And also, creativity is contagious. Like when you share, that inspires other people. First step, I think it's easiest if you can see this concept working in your outfits, because this is something you could do even today. I would encourage you, if you have a little time after this session, to follow. I outline in this style and save guide how to do these steps with your clothes to come up with new outfit ideas.
Wow. Isn't that inspiring? I mean, it's really a cool and creative way of um, cutting down our carbon footprints, prolonging the life of your clothes, and reimagining. And it's a shift of a lifestyle, but then you enjoy it. At least that's how I feel. Actually, I came across this. It's not just, to me, it's not just an idea, but really a commitment to a change of lifestyle, a change of mindset. When we started our Giving for Good project last year, Dr. Sanjin Moon, the founder of Giving for Good International, it's a climate action project. We She introduced to us the idea of upcycling, sustainable fashion. So I had a deep dive into it. And if you see it in this picture, that scarf, this scarf that I was wearing, actually, it was It was a winter hat, a really thick winter hat. And so I felt that it's too old fashioned that I couldn't wear it again. So I disassembled it and put it together again and made it into a very nice fur scarf. See, it looks really nice, and I love it. It was a birthday gift from a dear friend of mine. So I didn't have to throw it away, but I could wear it and remember and keep the memories with me. Yeah. So what next is I'd like to introduce to you Mako from our Women's Federation UN team. She also practiced, I mean, religiously practiced and went through the whole process of what Yuna introduced to us, and her experience is really inspiring and extensive. So I'd like to show that video to you.
I reached out to Yona because UN is all about sustainable development goals, reaching there, and especially with circular fashion and Giving for Good project, which is WFWPI's signature project, focused on the environment. I wanted to make something accessible and also interactive for people to kind of get involved with the whole climate action. And climate action is not just going out there and planting trees, but it really like starts within the home and our mindset. And so Yona has really taught me a lot of that. So I want to walk you through the Style and Save guide that Yona had developed. And yeah, for people who've like known me for a very long time, like I've always loved fashion. Like I always knew like what to wear. I was like, oh, this looks great on me. Like I know that this is my color, this is my fit. And so I never even like looked really like asked other people for their opinions, but I was kind of like that. That was like who I was. And so with trying with this like Style and Save guide was super different for me. And so the first step was to start with inspiration. Oh my gosh, the hardest part. Going shopping and not being able to buy anything, but just taking notes with like my notepad. And I was also it was online shopping, but even with the online shopping, like I always have like an impulse to like buy things that are pretty or the things that really catch my eye. And so I started off with going to one of my favorite like clothing websites, and I decided to go online shopping, not really think about anything and just like put whatever in the cart, which was also kind of like refreshing because I never really do that. I really think about things like all before I buy them. And so these are some of the pieces that I picked out just really like mindlessly. I wasn't really thinking about things, but yeah, we got like a knit vest, some leather pants, a leather blazer, like flowy sleeves. We got some silk texture in there. And these things really caught my eye. And I was like, I want to buy this right away. And so the next part was to observe and take notes on the things that was in my cart. And so Yona really challenged me to think of the themes, textures, materials. What was the color that I was drawn to? And so when you can see here that I labeled some of this, but some themes from my cart was obviously leather. Like it was like during almost fall that I think when I was like putting things in my cart. And so I really wanted some kind of leather pants or like a leather blazer. I love this like flowy feminine texture, like tops that look very feminine and like not necessarily like has like florals, but just like the texture looks really fluffy and soft. I also love like this transitional like clothing, like a turtleneck, but a tank top. So, because I'm from California originally, and it gets really hot even when I try to, dress like with my fall fashion. And so I think that's why I like these kind of like knits, but tank tops. And so this was some of the themes that was coming up for me. And so the next part was to take out everything from my closet that reflected the items in my cart. And so just anything, if, I had a lot of silk in my shopping cart. And so I was grabbing all the silk that I could find in my closet. A lot of colors, textures, chunky knits, and, sweaters, like anything that kind of even like like resembled what was in my cart, like even a little bit, I would just put it on the bed. And so this is everything that I kind of had to work with. It was all piled up on my bed. But I really ran into a problem here because although I had leather in my shopping cart, I didn't have any leather. I didn't own any leather pants or leather jackets. And so I got really stuck here. And I asked Yona, how can I find leather when I don't have any leather? And so Yona here challenged me by asking me, like, what is it that you like about the leather? And I don't know, as a woman, like, I don't, when I like something, I don't even question why I like it. It's just, oh, I like it because it's pretty, or like, I like this design. And that's just like how we shop, right? How we pick out things. But by asking this question, like, why do I like leather? I had to dig a little bit deeper, actually a lot deeper. And I was realizing that, with leather, it wasn't just like the color, because it didn't really matter what color the leather was, but I like the different textures together. So I wouldn't necessarily wear leather pants with a leather jacket, but I would wear leather pants with like a very fluffy, like chunky knit sweater. Like I really like the contrast in the texture. And so we realized after a while that, okay, it's actually the contrast, like the texture that I really liked for the leather. And so that's why I was, when I was looking through my closet, I picked out things that had different textures so that I could put it together. And so, yes, I just explain, why do I like leather? What is it about the leather that I like? Is it the color, the smooth feel, and digging deeper in that kind of way? Okay, so what did I find? So in this pile of stuff on my bed, there was some silk, there's some feminine designs from cardigans or blouses that I had. I have a lot of darker tones too, and I tried to pick out dark tones because I like the contrast between wearing white top and then black pants, or white pants, black top. So picked out a lot of that. And then also this was really such a fun time because it was time to shop my closet. So this whole shopping urge that I had, it was through my closet, everything that I had on that bed. And so I was just having a bunch of fun. I have a lot of these clothes from years ago, and I haven't tried a lot of them on. And so I was just really having fun and trying on different outfits, mixing and matching. But my goal was to find 3 outfits that I've never worn before. And so these are some of the things that I was trying on. And in the end, I came up with 3 outfits. This first one, I had a kind of a knit vest thing that I would normally wear with a long sleeve underneath, but it was still a little bit warmer. But when I picked out that outfit, and so like I said, I love contrast. So black pants, white top, and then it's a tank top, but it's a knit, and I really like that. And over it I put a scarf that I had, and it really satisfied my shopping bug. And the second one I love that this outfit is all black, but then super flory, floral and girly, and feminine on the top. And the silk texture really went along with the rough texture of the pants. So, and then my third outfit is a chunky knit sweater, but with shorts. And as you can see, I have a lot of black and white and gray in my closet, but yeah, this is really what makes me so happy. And this is what makes me feel like me, that it's my own aesthetic style. So yeah. And so what changed from this? It was actually, it was a long process to do this. It took me a couple hours because I was trying things on and getting stuck, and then, getting inspired again and starting again. And so the 3 things that changed ever since I, adopted Yona's guide was first digging deeper, asking the questions that I've never asked before. Why do I like the things that I like? And second was sparking uniqueness, trusting my intuition, because a lot of times I love Pinterest and, social media. And when I scroll through these different styles, and I automatically think about it and I want it, right? Or I want this person's closet, I want this person's shirt or shoes and style. But when I will focus on what I have, it really sparks my creativity. And, everything I kind of own in my closet, I've really accumulated and over like a course of like maybe 7 to 10 years. And so it really carries a lot of like memories for me too. And to be able to create something I really love, like out of those pieces, is something so unique, and it's unique to me, and nobody else has the same closet that I do. So I think that was really awesome. And then the third is a mindset shift. Less is more. And what's interesting is that after I tried this Yona's guide, it kind of just this less is more kind of just like translated into everything. Like it's not more clothes that I need, but it's really like about finding like creativity in the things that I already have. And so I think even with like my skincare, I used to have like a lot of like different serums and lotions that I would like put on my face, but I really became much more focusing on just a couple products instead of like a whole, like, more than 5. So it was not really about putting so much on, but it's really about like really loving the things that you're putting on.
Great. Wasn't it fun? Yeah. Mako did it, and she enjoyed it so much. I even enjoyed it watching. Just watching it really made me like, oh, I want to do it. And guess what? So this week, this is part 1. And next week, we are going to do part 2. And I will be doing what Mako did. And together with my friend, I'm going to ask my twin Mariver and my other friends to join me. So it's gonna be fun. Yeah, 3 things that I got from Mako's experience is, how to change the world, resonating with that macro level planetary crisis and being the solution is change of mindset, digging deeper, and be the change that we want to be. And through fashion and through baby steps and changing the way we think of how we wear our clothes, and extending the life of the clothes, and just that mindset of thinking of the world around us, that thinking of the environment with that conscious and conscientious way of going about our lives. So yeah, I think sustainable fashion is something that a woman and all women can resonate with and can do very well. We can actually change the world through these little baby steps with creative and enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed today. And yeah, let's do it and try next week together with me. Then we can make this world a better place, and we can actually cut our carbon footprints and heal our planet. Thank you so much. And I want to invite you next week. Please join me. And if you have any feedback or questions, and if you want to connect to Yuna, we have put the link there. And please go to her website. It's really fun. Thank you so much, and see you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.